No, okay, so apparently fucking it is what I'm reading here that Cartoon Network website has shut down, but the channel and streaming and all that is still up and running, and it's for a strategic type deal to get customers or viewers to migrate to like one location really to gain more views, because apparently they got 74k something views within 4 months or something like that, and they're placing 43rd in the overall rankings, something that I read. But yeah, they're also doing it with Boomerang to get them to migrate, quote, to Max. Cartoon Network is not shutting down, apparently, people, but the website is gone.
I just want to say rest in peace, Cartoon Network. They saying the 90s baby we're old heads now.
Yeah, no, I think we're reaching that point where we might be we becoming like the new boomers. Not really though, bro. I mean, that's just being dramatic, but like I guess we are in that age range where things are kind of weird. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah, so I mean, Cartoon Network is fine, you guys. It's just the website. It's all strategic.
Fine. It's shut down.
It's probably going to shut down. It's
shut down in August. What?
Brother, don't start crying. It's okay.
But it's like Blockbuster at this point.
it's good. It's probably eventually going to get to Blockbuster level, yes. Oh man. Maybe, just maybe, someone that may watch this video just doesn't know what Blockbuster even is. Like, that's honestly crazy to kind of think, because we are at that age, bro. Like, I feel like we've gone through a lot. Well, that's just, I don't know, that might be ignorant to say, but yeah, so much has changed that we are at that age that some of these kids out here don't know what the hell Blockbuster is, or a VHS maybe. Like, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Some kids don't even know what MP5s, MP3.
Simple MP3, and that when I was like maybe in elementary, yeah, MP3 was like the top thing, I think, maybe. So like, and look where we're at now.
Is this what it feels like to be old?
It's getting there. Yeah, it's getting there. We're here with the Cartoon Network with all the stuff going on about it shutting down or not, whatnot. Yeah, all that. We are going to do a dark conspiracy theory, but behind all the Cartoon Network shows. And tribute to maybe Cartoon Network shutting down?
We're a little late with it. We came a little late to the
yeah. But better late than never.
After they then took up the black and yellow tape, then took them back down. That late. But editor, put a warning disclaimer in front of before this video. We gonna need it.
This might just totally ruin everything about what you used to know about your cartoons growing up.
Welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna go over the 10 craziest Cartoon Network conspiracies. Before we get on the video, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and let's get straight on the video with number 10, Dexters Laboratory. For any kid who liked building Legos or doing science experiments, Dexters Laboratory was a dream. Having a secret lab underneath your house with unlimited amounts of resources that can literally be made into anything, as we saw with Dexter and his crazy inventions, was incredible. However, there have been some theories out there that say Dexter suffers from Asperger's syndrome, mainly inferred from his characteristics. We see him having a hard time socially, as he rarely interacts with other people. His repetitive behavior, as well as his immense fixation on his laboratory, are all attributes resulting from the syndrome. Another point that may reinforce this theory is that the show is told or seen through Dexter's point of view. People with Asperger's syndrome often have a hard time empathizing with other people, so maybe that's why we all see these supporting characters behave the way they do. Number 9, the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls was a huge hit among young girls because the 3 crime-fighting superheroes were each different and unique in their own ways. Because of this, viewers could identify with one of the girls, and it made the show that much more entertaining. There is a weird conspiracy theory out there that goes against this entire ideology. The theory states that the 3 different characters, Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup, are actually one female who suffers from multiple personality disorder. Bubbles represents the soft and emotional side.
I thought they were
the
drugs.
Who embodies the person's aggressive side. And finally, Blossom represents the ideal person the female host strives to be. This theory is logical, but there is not much else that supports it. Number 8, Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is definitely one of the more iconic cartoon duos out there for being widely entertaining. The show is simple.
Yeah.
Tom is a cat and wants to catch Jerry, the mouse, but he always fails. It is a very childish show with minimal to no dialogue, but some people think its true meaning is beyond that. According to some, Tom and Jerry was actually Nazi propaganda because the show released approximately a year after World War II had begun, which was before America entered the war. Going further, British troops were called Tommies and German troops were called Jerrys. Since Jerry always won due to high intelligence, many fans think that the show represented Germany winning and outwitting British troops. Number 7, ScoobyDoo. ScoobyDoo
if we had colors,
shows that has existed for so many years with a strong fan base.
We can really
the reason for this
that.
is because of the simple formula. The gang finds a mystery, they find clues about that mystery, and then they unmask who's responsible for the crime. Another reason why people like the show is because of the diverse characters. However, what if I were to tell you that Scooby-Doo is really just a drug-induced reality? There's a conspiracy theory out there that says Shaggy is a drug addict who is just imagining and making all of it up. For starters, his overall appearance is stereotypical for a stoner, from the way he dresses to the fact that he's
we all know
eating.
what it is with Shaggy
Apparently,
and Scooby. Leave
Shaggy
them
had been
alone.
bullied by Velma for
It ain't
being
nothing
dumb,
more than that.
by Freddy for being unathletic, and by Daphne for being ugly. Coming from a rich background, the result of this torment was turning to drugs. The more he used drugs, the worse it got. He started to imagine his dead dog was alive and was able to speak English. Then his bullies started to appear as friends. This just got real deep. Number 6,
bro, that's way more than marijuana. That's all of that.
This 2004 series had a long and memorable
you have to talk more about
due to
that.
its creative and interesting story about how forgotten imaginary friends were brought to the home for foster care. The idea was so bizarre and unique that it turned out to be very successful. Of the many characters that exist in the show, Frankie and her godmother, Madame Foster, are part of a handful that are humans. Or are they? A conspiracy theory suggests that Madame Foster actually created Frankie as her imaginary friend due to the fact that she knew that her old age would catch up with her soon. By having Frankie around, Madame Foster could continue her legacy if she were to pass away. Some things that support this are that Frankie does not have a definite imaginary friend that she created herself. She also does not seem to have a life outside of the home. An even crazier theory is that Frankie made Madame Foster to cope with the death of her actual grandmother. This is why Madame Foster appears to be childish and acts similar to the imaginary friends. Number 5, Ed, Edd and Eddy. Being one of the fan conspiracy, not only for the show Ed, Edd and Eddy, but the entire world of cartoons, is the purgatory theory. The general idea here is that everyone who lives on the famous cul-de-sac, including our favorite Ed boys, are all dead and trapped in an in-between world.
Ooh.
Such evidence that fans have pointed out for this includes the characters' blue tongues, which happen at death, the absence of any characters beyond the kids who live there, endless summer, and the lack of other settings in the show. It's also thought that the kids involved died at different times anywhere between 1990 and the 2000s, which is why viewers are unable to determine exactly when the show takes place. As you can imagine, the theory has individual backgrounds for each character put together, but the list is simply too long to include in this video. The show's producer has debunked several aspects of this theory, but many fans still enjoy thinking about this crazy theory. Number 4, Adventure Time. Due to the bizarre and even outrageous nature of Adventure Time, the series has had quite a few different fan theories arise since its premiere. The most important, however, is that the world of Adventure Time takes place after nuclear fallout, referred to as the Great Mushroom War. What makes this series so prominent is not only that it's the most well-known, but also that the show's creators have verified it to be true as well. Such hints about this occurring in the past include a large chunk of the globe missing when viewed from space. Characters even reference it in the show, and even a shot of nuclear warheads laying on the ground. It's also known that characters such as Ice King and Marceline the Vampire Queen are from the war. It's amazing to think that such a goofy and carefree show would have such a dark and serious past. Number 3, Courage the Cowardly Dog. A lot of people remember
was
Courage
always
the Cowardly
based off
Dog
of
for being such a weird TV show. The characters, dialogue, and overall vibe were very odd, so it was surprising to see how well it did. Looking back now, I think we can all agree that Courage lived with Muriel and Eustace in a place very similar to Hell. In this conspiracy, Courage is Cerberus, or in Greek mythology, the guard dog of Hell. With the wacky monsters he encounters and the complete opposite personalities of Muriel and Eustace has, this theory actually makes some sense. Courage is protecting Muriel, who represents mankind because of her kindness, from the horrors and sins that are represented through the continuous monsters we see on the show. Eustace is Satan, who is full of hatred and who is also the Hound's master. Number 2, codenamed Kids Next Door. Anybody who watched this show remembers the distinctive 5 main characters of the team who work to fight enemies such as adults and teenagers. The most popular theory around the show, however, is that the kids aren't really hanging out in their incredible treehouse base, but they are rather patients in a hospital. Apparently, the idea of their organization that fights for good was conceived by a nurse who was hoping to cheer the kids up. Each member has a unique backstory that corresponds to their personality. Number 1 cared for his father with cancer that gave him the leadership trait he displays until he himself found out that he's under care for the same disease. Number 2 had a happy life until his spiteful uncle continued to force feed him until he was obese and required care. Number 3 became addicted to antidepressants, which made her ignorantly happy at all times. Number 4 grew up in a rough neighborhood and his personality reflected it until he was stabbed. Finally, number 5 wished to be a better mother figure than her own, who abusively beat her and was the cause for her to stay in the hospital. And number 1, Cartoon Network's shared universe. Like the Pixar theory, there's a conspiracy theory that states all the Cartoon Network's classic shows were in a shared universe. It starts with a miniseries called The Justice Friends. The characters in the series actually appear in both Dexters Laboratory and the Powerpuff Girls, thus meaning that they're all in the same universe. It's even confirmed that Samurai Jack is in the same universe as the Powerpuff Girls through interviews and tweets from writers. So this means that these 3 are all in the same universe. Going even further, we know that the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy had a crossover with the Flintstones, who share the same universe as the Jetsons. Well, all the other shows come into play when the Grim Adventures of the Kids Next Door aired. So many characters were brought together as if it was like a cartoon version of the Avengers. Anyways, by association, it appears that all these shows share the same universe. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.
I like that
for more.
one.
Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Valentana, and I'll see you all later.
Go follow and subscribe this man. That was beautiful. Well, how do you feel about your childhood cartoons now?
Honestly, I'll still run it all back. I'll still run it all back.
Yeah, same.
I'll watch it all of.
I miss watching cartoons like that, man. Cartoons these days are just not really the same. They don't hit the same way like they used to.
If y'all heard that joke earlier that I said about the pop, you're real. You're real. I'm not gonna say it again, but that's what I was heard. That's what I heard.
Well, comment down below what y'all think about Cartoon Network now. Yeah, did it change anything for you? Were these conspiracy theories that you thought of, do they make sense? Do they not? What's yours about each certain show? Maybe there were shows that weren't shown, and maybe we could try to look into conspiracy theories about those other shows. I said shows about like 5 or 6 times now.
Where we're going, like.
Yeah, just comment below what you thought. What do you think?
Rest in peace, Cartoon Network.
We don't know that yet. We don't know that yet.
90s babies are now out of stock. You can't find 90 baby stuff anywhere. It's all 2020.
It's getting to that point.
Not 2020, but 2000 and up. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We minute. That's when you should end the video right there. Yeah, now I'm gonna stop recording. Hey, yo, pause.
I got the trunk knocking.